to overcome your fears. And Purnima Kochikar, who heads up the Google Play BD team, talks about building bridges and how you can build bridges to other people, to new opportunities. And what I think was really beautiful about that is that it was inspiring people in the room to actually walk up and say, "Hi, I'd like to build a bridge." I was like, "Whoa, it works," you know? And I worked with Purnima on that talk, and it just really lit up my heart with how women were inspired by her words. And then here tonight, there's a lot of wisdom in this room, and I really encourage you to keep the conversation going. Use the hashtag WTM16. I will say that WTM16 is also the hashtag for World's Toughest Mudder. So we're not going to be making you run a muddy marathon anytime soon. But if you're surprised by the tweets, that's where it's from. So with that, you know, I'm in this place of seeing all these voices and hearing all this wisdom. And one of the speakers in Cambridge had mentioned how important it is to own your power. And I had a moment this week on my team where a woman was not feeling super powerful. She was feeling pretty powerless. And I remember, you know, taking that advice from Cambridge and reaching out to her and saying, well, what would make you feel powerful? Can we manage to that? Tell me a few things of what we can do to help you feel powerful. And she sat and she reflected, and what I like to tell my team is you don't have to come up with an answer right now and take your time. But then for the next couple of days, she did things that only made her feel powerful, and she would tell me about it. And that to me is what we should be doing for each other. If you see someone who's lost their power, who's sinking pretty low, who's vulnerable and feels out of touch and might be crying at home, you know, you can be that shoulder for them. You can be that place to receive them. And I remember there was a time even, how many women have been to Grace Hopper in Texas? Some? All right. Texas is cool. Houston's not my fave, but I encourage you all to go. There was a woman who was actually, sounds really sad when I try to talk about it. There's a woman standing by a trash can who's crying. And not the kind of crying where you're just like, the pretty crying, you know, where like you feel okay. It was like a really hard crying. And I remember seeing her just kind of feeling really shameful about her emotions. And I walked up to her, and I'm a hugger, so tonight at the reception, I will hug you all. And I walked up to her and I just held out my arms. And she just hugged me back. And I just let her cry for a really long time. Turns out her and her partner had gotten in a fight. But she wasn't really going to be able to collect herself, and everyone was ignoring her, right? We have 12,000 people at Grace Hopper, and no one had stopped to talk to her. And I think that those are the moments when we can be leading together. The moments when we're feeling our worst, how can we pick someone else up? Because we should not be forgetting one another. We should not be feeling like we're competing with one another. We should be feeling like we're advancing together. And so we talked for a long time. She stopped crying. I had a lot of mascara on my shirt, but it was cool. And we became really good friends. We talked about the books we liked. We talked about her husband. I told her about my partner. We shared relationship books, right? My job was to help her feel ready, to feel empowered, not just as a technologist, but just as a person. And I think that creating that connection and that creating that bridge with someone allows us to lead together. And so with that, when I think of, you know, what is it that Women Tech Makers stands for? To me, it's an idea. It's something that Women Tech Makers wouldn't exist if we weren't all in this room. Even though Megan and I sat down and we created my role 2.5 years ago, Women Tech Makers used to just be a once-a-night event. Happened the night before Google I/O, which is our big technical conference. And with that, you know, we had a panel. That was it. It's like a moment. And so when I went to Megan, I said, I want this to be a global program. We're doing it all the time, 24 hours a day. I was like, I'm going to be like Oprah. We're going to have shows. We're going to have stuff. And Megan's like, all right, we'll make that happen. And so to me, Women Tech Makers doesn't exist unless we're all doing it together, unless all of our ideas are brought together, shared with one another. And so when you think of, you know, what is Women Tech Makers, I want you to think about what is it that you want and what is it that you need. Because it's my team's job to make sure that that happens in the world. And it's not about changing women to fit the industry, but to me it's about changing the industry to make sure that they're treating women and underrepresented minorities first. And so everything that we do is about putting women first. How can we make this event? How can we make an initiative or a program, something that feels like you were thought of first, not last. And that's how everything should feel for us. So with that, I think that, I want to encourage us all to be the bridge, to be inclusive, to open our arms to one another. Because at the end of the day, whether it's someone you know, someone you don't know, someone who's having a hard day or a good day, we can lead together. And I'm super thankful that you all decided to make some time tonight to come together to be this community, because Women Tech Makers wouldn't be anything if it weren't for you. Thank you.